Now we move on to how the process between Global Catering and the onboard staff works. Upon joining the ship, the staff takes the inventory of provision stock on board, reflecting the same in the opening stock of the ship under Global Catering's management. The weekly menu is planned by the chief cook and the captain in accordance with a guideline menu agreed upon by Global Catering and the client's office. During the month, if the chief cook needs any provision supplies, he is trained enough to review the current stock on board, and based upon the upcoming port calls, he will prepare the necessary requisition and email the same to Global Catering through the captain. Global Catering, on receipt of the requisition, will activate a few quality ship chandlers for the respective port, evaluate their response to the quotation inquiry for various parameters like packaging of each item, brand names, availability in all items with the supplier, cost effectiveness, supplier's past performance records, and then finalize the quotation with one ship chandler. Global Catering takes care of the entire process of supplier lineup, quotation review, finalization of the supplier after final negotiation, and final payment after satisfactory supply is effected to the ship. During the course of our day-to-day working with the ship staff, we educate them how they should work with their daily menu and the victualling budget on hand while raising the requisition for any supply for a given port. Ship staff is shown the costing and provisions being brought for them by Global Catering for a given port and its value, whether the same is fitting in the budget on hand or not. Subsequently, they are guided by us to adjust the same and their menu for the next few days, so to ensure the menu on board stays within the victualling budget. If the requisition raised by the ship is within the approved budget for the specific period of the supply, the full list is then forwarded to the ship for their evaluation and approval. Upon receipt of the same, Global Catering will issue a purchase order to the supplier on behalf of the ship and the client. However, if the requisition is over the budget for the specific period of the indent, then the ship staff is recommended with areas they can adjust their requisition to stay within the budget. This helps ship staff to understand the costing rationale followed by the Global Catering and keep the victualling management transparent at all times. The above recommendations are made after we've evaluated the ship's indent based on various parameters through our in-house catering manager software that reflects the details of the previous supply, consumption pattern of the ship for each and every item, ship's past and current stocks with the usage on board, so the ship staff does not overstock items and waste the budget. Now we raise the purchase order for the best ship chandler on behalf of the ship and our principal. Ship suppliers line up the stock for delivery at their end. At the time of delivery, ship staff is expected to check each and every item for their quality, quantity, and packaging of each item along with the required expiration dates as applicable. For any discrepancies in the supply, the supplier is asked to exchange the item or take it back and raise credit note. However, if the ship staff has time constraints and they are to sign the invoices, is subject to check later. Ship staff has 2 to 3 days in hand to check all items if the ship has sailed out of the port and give their feedback to Global Catering along with their supplier by email. All necessary credits are taken from the ship chandler by Global Catering on behalf of the ship and passed to the ship's victualling account. Upon receipt of the invoice at our end, we reconcile the purchase order list with the delivery order list, checking details of each and every item delivered on board. We clear the payment of the ship chandler only after a thorough reconciliation is matched. The above cycle continues for each supply of provision and bond to the ship. Thus, in the above process, the involvement of the captain or the client's office is negligible. Everything is arranged and managed by Global Catering as a part of our service. Large volumes of provisions purchased worldwide enables us to control the victualling cost at a predefined budget, at the same time uplift the quality of the food being served on board. Our ship chandler are always on alert while attending to our ships, as they have to wait for 2 to 3 days after the supply is effected for feedback from the ship. They cannot supply anything to the ship they like and get away with it. Any complaint for any of the items not being up to the standard is rejected and credit taken from the ship chandler.